Hello, Steve White, Trickboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, the thing with Ortagas at the end of Wedding Bell Blues, um, I kind of forgot all about it when I did the review, so I thought, do I redo the review or do I just do a video about it? Because it's just a random, separate thing, it has nothing to do with the rest of the episode. Basically, Ortagas is just a bit off, and then she goes back to her quarters, and then there's a reflection behind her in a window. She's looking out into space, and we see a Gorn in the background. Now, we know it's a Gorn because they call it a Gorn, and we've seen them in the other episodes, but it doesn't really look like a Gorn. It's basically a giant bug with, it's humanoid, but it's got this big sort of hunchback and this little head with these beady eyes. It doesn't look like a Gorn. The Gorns were like big lizard, strong, solid lizard monsters, and they could have, and they already did them in Enterprise, so not, and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they couldn't do the suit like they'd had in the original series because that's lame. I'm like, well, they actually could have done a humanoid just with really good makeup for the face and change, to look a little bit more reptilian and a little bit more realistic. But, they could have actually done that look instead of going really far away from it. But they already did an Enterprise, and they didn't even stick to that because that was a more lizard-like, more reptilian, less humanoid form, but it still felt a bit more like a Gorn. And I remember at the time we're like, it doesn't look enough like the Gorn, they didn't have to go that far away from it, and now Strange New Worlds has gone even further away from it. But we see that in the background, and the question is, what is that about? Is this just symbolic because she's traumatized by what happened to her with her experience with the Gorn when she was put in one of those sacks of fluid, and she had like partly eaten or digested hand, and she fought the Gorn. She was stabbed by one of the Gorn. She was injured and suffered a very long time, which would be very traumatizing. And is that just the Gorn sort of lingering over her in the back of her thoughts? Is she, really stuck in that moment, or is it literally people are taking it like, oh, she's been impregnated or something by one of the Gorn, babies, and somehow being stabbed and being through that experience, that somehow she's got some Gorn DNA or something Gorn about her is going to happen, when they really should be thinking about Pike's girlfriend, because she's the one who had the Gorn babies, that she apparently they used science to have her body absorb them. Somehow, they didn't really explain exactly what they did. There was like the idea of we can do this, and then they just came out of the surgery, and it's like, is that what they did? But so a lot of people are just assuming that it's something literally physical, and I'm like, I think it's more she's haunted by them, because Ortagas, the actor who plays Ortagas, talked about her character having this sort of brutal, traumatizing moment, and this darker side where she's quite racist towards the Gorn, and particularly Pike's reaction to the Gorn, like they're just monsters. Sometimes monsters are just monsters. I'm like, no, they're people, they're species, they're aliens. They're not just monsters. There are no monsters. That was what Star Trek taught us, that these people are too stupid to know that there are no monsters. There are also no villains, just antagonists and creatures that aren't understood. So is this just her being haunted by her racism or her fear or anxiety and all of this? Is she going to resolve that? Is it just symbolizing the trauma that they're like literally in the background, she can't get away from them? Or is it something, people are taking it literally like it's something physical happening with her, and it's going to be some sort of future Gorn episode where it's something that comes from this moment? I think it was just symbolic, but it's hard to tell. It's an image. You see it in the background behind her, she looks terrified. Obviously it's not really in the room, but what is it? So I don't know. But that was sort of a moment where it really did seem out of place in this episode. This was a light comedic episode, and they just sort of tacked it on the end, which is why I forgot about it. But it kind of warranted its own video, because I would have remembered towards the end of the video, and then my video would have gone over time. I would have had to rush through it. But now I've had a whole 5 minutes to talk through it, and it's like, I think it's just symbolic. I think they're just representing that she's haunted by what's happened with the Gorn, and perhaps also her disappointment in herself for how she is reacting, and that she's being not exactly open-minded towards this other species and the Federation of Planets and stuff that officers should really understand that, you know, it's about different species and aliens, and it's not about monsters and othering and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's where it's going, but we'll see. They could do something really stupid and literal. Some people are saying, oh, she must have like a Gorn baby somehow, she got impregnated somehow or something, and now it's like hiding or something, and just, we're not going to have an alien scene in the middle of Star Trek. They've already copied Alien and the Xenomorph, but I don't think they're actually going to do that scene where no one knows it's coming. God. Okay, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this scene, what it means, where it's going, and feel free to ding the bell or look at my channel for videos, because YouTube won't be showing them. They won't be putting them in your feed because they don't support small YouTube channels like mine.